filmmakers, I'm Alexander Don, and today we're going to take a look at Accsoon Cine Eye 2S Pro, which is right here. But before we start, I want to let you know that this episode is brought to you by CamStore, one of the best filmmaking shops in Romania where you can buy anything from Tilta, Red, Sony, Apple, and many more. And they also have really good prices. And this is one of my to-go shops nowadays, so I'm really happy that we did this collaboration. So if you follow me for a while, you know that I use wireless devices a lot on my projects, and it's quite mandatory to have them on set if you shoot a lot of commercial or professional work. The reason you need it is because what you film on set has to be approved by the client, director, agency, and even hair makeup. And also, let's not forget about the focus puller, who needs a very strong and low latency wireless system. Now, the problem with wireless streaming accessory is the price. The good ones are really expensive. For example, the one that I'm currently using is around $5,000, which is more than most cameras nowadays. But it has 1,200 meters range and almost zero latency. And it also comes with a few flaws, like not connecting every time, losing connection quite often, and not being able to stream the feed to an iPad or an iPhone. And because of these flaws, I kept on looking for something new. And the Accsoon Cine Eye 2S Pro seemed one of the best options for the price I could find. For $650, you get more than what you pay for. And let me tell you about the specs because they are quite impressive. So this product is a dual band Wi-Fi video transmitter system. The dual band system intelligently leverages both 2.4 GHz and 5G transmission to maintain signal quality. The cool thing about this dual band technology is that in this system, the algorithm can identify what data is lost from the 2.4 GHz for redundancy video stream and 5G for the main video stream network separately and then combine them to restore the original image. Latency is a very big thing for wireless video transmitters, and this one has a really good latency of 0.06 seconds, which is one of the best performance in its range. Cine Eye 2S Pro has also a very good range of 1,200 feet or 350 meters, which is more than enough for most applications. This system supports video input up to 180p 60 frames per second, and it also supports 16-bit or 24-bit audio input, and it streams the audio with a very low compression codec, giving you a near lossless audio monitoring experience. The Cine Eye also has the ability to connect to tablets and phone, which is one of the things that I was mostly interested in because iPads and iPhones are perfect for clients to check the footage from. Cine Eye 2S Pro abandoned the overcomplicated transmitter to receiver pairing process and instead innovatively introduced the pairing knob. All you need is to rotate the knob on both the transmitter and receiver at the same number, and then boom, you have a connection. That simple. And now that we got to know the system a little bit better, let's put it to the test. Alright guys, so I have the product in my hand and this is actually my first hands-on experience with it. And I gotta say, I'm really impressed with the build quality. It feels super solid, the materials on it feels super nice, and it feels like a premium product. Another thing that I really noticed is its weight. It's super lightweight. And compared to my old system, this is probably 2 times lighter. And it's a really big thing because when you put things on your camera, it starts gaining more and more weight, and it's a little bit hard to film with a camera that's very heavy for an entire day. So another thing that I think is really cool about it is the fact that you can put NP batteries on it. So it works with NP batteries. But the cool thing about this system is the fact that it's very efficient. So with a battery like this, you're looking up to 20 hours of usage, which is quite amazing because with my old transmitter, I was getting around 5 or 6 hours. So efficiency is key nowadays. Also, another cool thing about the system is that you can use either HDMI or SDI. And that's very important because some cameras don't have HDMI, like for example, Red Komodo, or some monitors don't have HDMI. So it's really nice to have a system that can adapt to any situation you're put at. Also, it's really nice that it's a cross conversion. So if you have a camera that has SDI and you only have monitor with HDMI, it's nice that you can plug in SDI in here and take HDMI out. So it has a cross conversion algorithm that works really nice. What I want to do right now is I want to put this system on my camera and monitor and see how it looks, how the quality feels, what's its latency, and how long we can go with the range. I also want to do a side-by-side testing with my old expensive transmitter and see if there's a difference. As you see, we have a connection, and I gotta say the image coming out of the transmitter and receiver looks really good. As you can see, I'm moving around and oh my God, the latency is crazy. Like, I'm quite impressed. So I managed to connect the transmitter to my iPad, and the process was very simple. The app is super intuitive, and also the process as well. Simply look for the Wi-Fi connection of this transmitter and put the password and you're ready to go. And what I'm really impressed is that, check this out. The latency is crazy even on the iPad. I tested wireless connections that go inside the app or smartphone or anything like that, and they were not this responsive. So I'm really impressed. Like, the latency is almost the same as with the receiver. What is also very cool about this app is that it has a lot of functions very similar as with a professional monitor. So you have waveform, histogram, import, and all that functions, and you also have the possibility to record the feed that you're getting. So you can basically have some backup materials that go inside your iPad, and then you can use them to fast edit or whatever, or you can use them as safety. And I'm quite impressed with this, and I'm really curious to see how good the range is between the iPad and the transmitter. So we're gonna test that as well. But so far, I'm quite impressed with this system. So let's test out to see what latency it has, and then we're gonna put my old transmitter and see what latency that has. After doing the low latency test, I gotta say I'm really impressed. The $650 system from Axon is almost as good as the $5,000 one, maybe even as good, because the difference is so small that it's barely visible. So I'm really impressed with this test, but I'm also very impressed on how good it worked on the tablet. I've seen system like this connect to tablets and phone, but they were horrible in terms of latency. But with this one, I can even pull focus on the tablet because the feed is so good when it comes to quality. Now, where I've seen a small difference between the two systems and where I think this one has to justify being $5,000 is the fact that this system is 10-bit and the Axon is only 8-bit. And in some cases, you might see a little bit of banding in the feed coming from the Axon, but I promise you, it's not gonna bother you from any kind. All right guys, so we are outside and we want to test out the system's range, and we are on an open field. The wind is blowing pretty crazy, so if the sound is not good, I'm sorry about that. And there's also a ton of sun, so we had a little bit of issue displaying the image here so you can see exactly what we film and when the signal drops. We also use this intercom system, which is really nice. It's from Holy Land Tech, and I'm gonna review it really soon, but as we can see, Chipre is really far away, and we still have really strong signal. Nothing drops. I think you can go further. Still going. Signal is still strong. No interruptions. And from what I'm seeing, Chipre is holding the camera in front of his body. So his body is actually obstructing the antennas, and we still have really strong signal and no interruptions at all. So at this point on the camera, you cannot see Chipre any longer because he is near those buildings. So that's pretty crazy, I gotta say. Wow. I think by now this is like honestly more than I would use, more than I would ever use. So I don't know if you guys can see on the monitor, but we are down there like super small. Okay, so now it got disconnected. So I think this is the maximum. So desconectado. But now Chipre has turned around with the antennas towards us and we got connection again. But this is like, I can barely see him with my eyes. So for me, this is a win. Alright guys, so I got inside the car because there is obviously way too much light to show you the feed from the iPad, and Chipre is now gonna go again, and we're gonna try and see how much the iPad holds in terms of signal. And I'm gonna put it right here so you can hopefully see it. Let's try and do this. Wait. And he is quite far, but the signal kind of is dropping right now. So I think it's okay, but I think this is like the limit of using it, but I think that's quite far. Like he's over there and we still have signal, but it's a little bit choppy, not perfect. Can you go a little bit longer? Let's see. So as you can see, it is a little bit choppy and doesn't look right. So I think you can come back. Probably this is gonna be the last time when I'm filming in this harsh sunlight conditions. I really wanted to come and finish this review, but it's raining non-stop in our country, so this is like the only time frame that we have without rain. So I said we're gonna go and do it no matter what. Alright guys, so we have the system mounted on, and right now Chipre is gonna go on his journey towards the signal interruption. And I'm really curious when this is gonna happen because, like I mentioned, this system claims to have 1,200 meters of range. But I'm really curious, is it gonna hold that much as the Axon, or is gonna interrupt faster, or Chipre is gonna have to go into town and still have signal there? I'm really curious. Alright, so as I'm looking at the feed, I can already see a few flaws. So while he was moving, I could have seen a little bit of compression artifacts, which I haven't noticed with the Axon, which is kind of weird. But overall, the feed looks kind of messed up. I don't know if you guys can tell it from the camera to the monitor, but I can see it. So, no bueno. The signal is still on, so Chipre is only 15% of the distance that it was when we tested the Axon. So I don't know, let's see if it goes further or no. Alright, so now Chipre is almost approaching the maximum distance that we could get with the Axon, and from what I'm noticing, the compression artifacts are worse and worse, but we still have signal, so the connection is still on. As you can see, he's really far away, which is really impressive, but I'm kind of bummed to see that a more expensive system has lower performance when it comes to signal stability. It might be because we use this system for a few years right now and it might be a little bit tired, I don't know, but the signal is still on. I'm really curious how much longer he could go until the signal drops. So right, so a few more meters down the line and the signal is starting to break apart. It got lost for a few seconds right now, and it keeps on doing some weird things, and I think this is it. So right now it's completely off, and that is it. So the Axon, who is a $650 system, outperformed a $5,000 system. This is crazy. Alright guys, so this was it. I really hope you enjoyed the review of this Accsoon Cine Eye 2S Pro, and to be honest, this product has amazed us, and I think it is a really good product, especially for the price. It does more than what you pay for, like I said. I totally recommend this product, and I think it's a really good investment, especially if you work in commercial industry or if you do professional cinematography work. If you guys enjoyed this review and if it was helpful, I really wish you can hit that subscribe button, follow us for more epic content, and I wish you all the best and have fun, guys. Go out there, create some really cool content, and until next time, peace.